unmute. So she doesn't have her thing on yet. Well, she can have herself muted.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to Let's Get Cooking with the Ryder Lee team and Chef Jude.
Hey, Chef, wait, there's a fire in the oven. April Fool. Can't fool this guy.
We're on it. We're on it.
Hey,
How we doing,
everybody.
This is so exciting. This is our very first Saturday event.
Brunch extraordinaire.
Brunch. So hopefully you guys have your kids at home so you can cook along. Excited to have everybody together. And today we're going to start with our quiche.
Yep, we got a Mediterranean quiche going. We're going to do some fried French toast. We're going to do 2 toppings for our French toast today. We're going to do a cherries jubilee.
Excellent.
And we're going to do some bananas Fosters, both flambang.
What's cool about that is you can also do the cherries jubilee and the bananas Foster as a dessert.
Oh, absolutely.
So one thing we're going to show you today is that you can do it on French toast, but also as a dessert. So save maybe the idea for another evening.
Absolutely.
And then our drink
We're going to make a fresh blood orange mimosa.
And I'm super excited about that because I already got my workout in, did my 7.5 miles this morning, and we are good to go.
And for the kids in the audience, enter into the chat box. If you have kids or grandkids or someone that you want to give a coloring book to, this was written by me. Look, there's my name and my face on the back. And this coloring book is really fun, guys, because they get to practice penmanship, and then they have a nice positive saying, and then they have something that goes with the positive saying. So I'd love to give these away if you know anybody that would love to have a coloring book. And guess what? We give you crayons too.
And if you act now, he'll autograph it.
I'll autograph it. If you say who it's to in the chat box, you bet I'll autograph it.
You bet.
All right,
That's
let's get
wonderful.
cooking.
Let's get cooking.
All right, so first and foremost, everyone, like always, our mise en place.
Yes.
Our mise en place today is a little bit more than usual. We sent out in the email a couple things to get done. We want to make sure that everyone has their pie crust par baked. The reason we want to par bake these is we want to make sure that our crust is cooked in our quiche. We don't want to cook our quiche and still have the doughy crust,
Just
right?
quickly tell us about the par bake. Just give us a just quick little snippet in case someone missed it.
6 to 7 minutes, pop it in the oven,
Okay.
let it do its thing. It might rise up a little bit. Don't worry, don't poke a hole in it. So if there's an air bubble in the crust and it's rising up, just let it rest. Once it rests, it'll fall back down like we do here. If we poke a hole in it, we're going to lose our egg when we bake the quiche. We don't want to do that. We want to keep it all inside
So
of the pie crust.
So 6 to 7 minutes on what time?
Just at 375 is fine.
Perfect. Okay, so if you didn't do that, that's number one.
Yep. We have our bread here, our French bread for our French toast. We want to slice this up. And the reason we want to slice this up and we want to let it sit out because we want it to dry up a little bit. The reason we want it to dry up is it's going to be able to absorb our egg mixture.
Okay.
And that's the key to French toast, is absorbing that egg mixture. It's not going to make it soggy. If we had bread that wasn't slightly stale, then it wouldn't absorb it very well. That's what gives that sogginess to the bread. By letting it sit out, the air contact dries it out a little bit.
And I see that typical to what you do is everything is kind of evenly cut. So your pieces are evenly sized.
Yeah, and just depends on what you want to do, right? So today we went about like an inch thick for our French toast. We got a big group today, so we want to make sure everybody gets some. But doing them a nice thick slice like this is always a really good one, because then that way you only need 2. You won't need 7 or 8 like I usually do.
Perfect.
We have our shortening on. It's on low right now just until we get ready to going, but it is already melted. So when we're ready to do our French toast, this is all ready to go for us.
Looks like a lot. I mean, you put quite a bit in there to melt that down?
I use the whole tub just because,
Okay.
like I said, we're going to be using a lot. What we look for is we want to make sure that you're going to have enough oil or shortening to come up to half the amount of the bread.
Got it.
So we don't want to completely submerge it all, but we want to make sure that it's half of the way there,
Perfect.
because we're going to fry and then we'll flip it and we'll fry.
Perfect. Good to know. I love that. Prep is important.
So then these are for our other saute pans. This is gonna be ready. First thing we wanna get going is we wanna get our quiche going. So what we have here is I have some onions diced up. Get our skillet nice and hot.
And I don't know about you guys, but I'm so excited to learn how to make quiche. It's such a great breakfast dish for everybody.
It's really good.
And you can heat it up later. So if you don't eat it all, it's a good warm up.
And we're gonna show you one of the pieces that really make it better later, right? So a lot of people don't like to put enough cream into it. So the half and half, so half milk, half cream. Some just do the eggs and the eggs and the milk whipped together and put in there. That dries out the egg when you reheat. The cream allows it to maintain the moisture in the egg so that way when you do reheat or it sits for a little bit more, it's still a nice moist egg. So that's a nice important piece for it.
Good.
So we have our pan going. We grab some olive oil there, Beth.
Olive oil.
So what we're gonna do is just get our pan nice and hot. The reason we're gonna saute our ingredients first. So we got onions, bell peppers. We're gonna throw some pancetta in there. We got some spinach, we got some tomato, and we got some feta cheese. So we're gonna go really Mediterranean today. Just do a little bit of oil. Add some onion. And we're just gonna saute this so our onion gets a little translucent. We're making 2 pies, so make sure we got enough there. A little bit of garlic. So remember, we don't want to focus too much on cooking too much here. We are going to bring them down so the onions break down a little bit. But remember, it's going to cook also in the egg itself.
Right.
So kind of steam inside the egg. So we're just going to get that quick saute down. Out of the way. Nice high heat, little bit of fat. While that's going over here, I've taken our spinach, I've given it a nice rinse, and do a nice rough chop.
Okay.
The reason being is if you throw it in whole, it wilts, and then you have big, long strands of spinach.
Yeah, that would be good.
If we give it a rough chop, then it allows it to cook up and more evenly, so that way, as you
I like
see,
that. That's a good size.
yeah, it'll cook up nicely. So same thing with our bell pepper. We cut it about the same as our onions there because we want it to be roughly about the same size. We're going to do the same thing with our tomatoes. And working with these guys, they are finicky, but nice sharp knife allows you to overcome that piece. This you can do like such. Pop that guy out. So remember, when we are cooking uniformly, right? We're always stressing about that. We're always making sure that we understand what are we cooking. The reason we want to make different size cuts for different things is because it all depends on the turnout, what we're looking to achieve, right?
Absolutely.
So now we got some colorization going. You see
Yeah, that's
on
gonna be
our onion there, throwing our bell pepper. Throw all of it there. And then here, at this point, let's go ahead and add our ham. So then that way this can caramelize up too.
And that's just all in little top pieces.
Yep, it's just pancetta, so it's in a time.
Okay. Shout out to everybody with us today from Trilogy. I think we've got about 7 or 8 people on, so love having you guys on every week or every month, I should say. And then we have some builder agents on today too. So I know we have Derek Wilkins on. There's about 7 of you on as well. So we're excited to have a great group.
Welcome. All right, now this cooks down a little bit. We're gonna get our eggs going. So we got a nice large bowl here. Whole eggs here. You're gonna wanna do about 5 eggs per pie, yeah?
So did you say you're making 2?
We're gonna make 2, yeah?
Okay. So does anybody have any questions as we're just kicking this off? Any questions in the chat box? We are gonna have our market update coming out here soon. That's gonna be May 18th, from 6 to 7. May 18th is our next event.
See how we're getting good caramelization here?
Oh, that was great.
And we don't need to add any more oil because we're gonna be extracting the fat, which is gonna produce
Right,
oil
exactly.
from the pancetta that we just put in there. So we wanna keep an eye on it. We shouldn't have too much because of what we got going on. But we're just, yeah.
Sorry, was it 5 eggs, 65?
5
5
eggs per pie.
Per pie.
Yep,
per pie.
so we're gonna make 2, but we'll just do one of them at a time. So like I was saying, the reason we wanna saute our vegetables and our proteins before we put them into a quiche is so that way we get all the flavor. You
Okay,
ever been to the breakfast spot and ordered an omelet?
yeah,
And then they have an egg with all your sauteed stuff folded inside of
Yep.
the egg? Not the same, right?
right, not the same at all.
Anytime you make a quiche or a frittata, which is be the same as a quiche without the crust,
Mhm.
you want to saute first. You want
Okay,
to
good point.
extract the sugars. You want to incorporate all those flavors as opposed to just putting your raw onions and all that stuff inside.
Right
of it.
inside. Yeah, that makes sense because you don't want it hard. Everything, somewhat cooked.
Not only that, but the flavor profile. We're enhancing the flavor profile. If we were to make an omelet, I always saute and then I dump my eggs into there. And that's what creates such a more robust flavor.
Makes sense.
All right, so we got that working on there. Let's go ahead and add our spinach and let this wilt down. We're gonna add our tomatoes last.
Which makes sense.
Yep, because those will break down quickly. If we get a spoon out of there. That'll work perfect. So you see how we have that fond on the bottom, right? All that caramelization.
Yeah.
We want to capture all that. We're going to be releasing some water content with our spinach as it starts to wilt down. Also, when we add the tomato, the acidity from the tomato will help us deglaze the pan so that way we're able to bring up that fond that's on the bottom of the
And
pot.
look at how good that's all looking together too. Everything is working together really well.
So
And it's
let's
beautiful,
go ahead and
colorful.
add the rest of our spinach there. Yeah, all these flavors blended together
Yeah,
is just
looks
such a
so
great combination.
I always thought, gosh, cheese seems so hard. Like, it seems so hard to make, but I'm so excited that we get to make it.
Yeah, and it's really just scrambling eggs. I mean, essentially, right?
Right.
Except we're not going to put the scrambled eggs in here. We're going to put them into the pie shell and let them bake in there.
Exciting. I can't wait to see it.
So now we'll go ahead. Add a tomato. We're only going to let this tomato go for maybe 2 to 3 minutes at the most. We're on really high heat still, so it's going to cook really, really quickly. You saw how fast that spinach wilts down. But as you see here, by chopping our spinach roughly, it is able to spread it about as opposed to having the real long strands of the spinach leaf. So let's give that one more minute. We're going to get our feta cheese ready. Want to grab some salt and pepper for us? Salt and pepper, perfect. Our half a capsule. Well seasoned.
That's the question.
Yes, go ahead with your question.
Question, when would we add the dry herbs? Because it doesn't,
We're gonna add them into our eggs right now.
okay, perfect. Thank you.
So we'll go ahead and turn off our skillet there. We got some dried basil and some oregano. We're gonna whip that into our eggs. And for our next one. Not too crazy on the basil, but just enough to flavor it so we can taste it. You can use a whisk. I want to show you. So you can use this guy here. Most people use this as a culinarian. We were trained to do this as the whisk. You really want to break up your yolks. So incorporating air is what we're doing. By incorporating the air, it's making it nice and fluffy. For when we make hollandaise, we'll make Steve do it, so he'll sit here and whisk and whisk and whisk and whisk and whisk.
Good.
All right. So you see, the whites and the yolks are pretty much all together as one. That's what you want to do, nice and blended. You can put it into a food processor if you wanted to. I would just pulse it.
And to make
If you blend it on high or whatever, we're creating heat, which then can start to temper the egg that we don't want to do,
Right.
which could scramble the egg inside the blender. We don't want to make that happen. So
no scrambled eggs yet.
not yet. What are we doing into this one? Half a cup.
And then whiskey that
Whisk
again.
yeah. So incorporate. So now you see how we have a one solid consistency. And there's no whites separated from the yolk. See that?
Oh, yeah.
That's what we're looking for. So then what we'll do is we'll get our fixings here. We will incorporate into our pie shells, our par-baked pie shells.
So basically, we're just kind of putting enough to cover the bottom.
We'll split this in between two. I cut enough that it'll work pretty good. You don't want to overfill, right? And that's what you're asking. Your question is, how much do we,
Yeah.
right? So if you do just enough to barely cover the bottom, you're going to have a lot of egg and not a lot of filling.
Okay.
So you're going to want to go about 2/3, halfway to 2/3 of the way up. You don't have to pull out the measuring tape and make sure it's precise, but
Fill it enough.
yeah, you want to make sure that you fill it in enough, right? So like this is a good filling, because what's going to happen, like I said, is as it bakes, this will stay on the bottom, and we want it to kind of rise up a little bit.
Right.
So if it's just going to be our quiche with our crust, our little layer of ingredients, and then our egg on top, we want it to all be
Blend
in
together.
Yep.
Okay.
Let's start here. We're going to then do our eggs. And I always kind of move it around, so then that way it does allow
To
that
blend
egg to get to
together.
the bottom, yeah, and really blend well. For the cheese in there.
So that's interesting that you put that on last. Probably it's gonna
It sinks.
sink a little
Yep, you
bit?
see how
Okay.
it's gonna sink, so
Yeah.
it's not like we could set it in there and mix it around. It's not really gonna do the same, but then this will allow it to fall where it falls, and then that way, that's
I like
what
that.
you're looking for.
Mhm.
All right, so we may have enough to fit it.
Exactly 5 eggs.
Perfect. All right. So I'll whisk up another one here.
So while everybody's kind of catching up,
Yeah.
Probably a good time, Steve, you wanna do a quick little market update?
Let's do it.
All right, should we come on over this way while Chef's continuing to cook? So we do have a bunch of builder reps on today, and I'm really excited to tell you that there's inventory out there at the builders. So you can really go out, buy a new home, and trade your old home in with the Ryder team.
Yes, you can. And the market is different depending on what area that you want to buy in, Southeast Valley versus the West Side, or the Northwest Valley. So it's really important that you contact us or Bill, whoever you worked with, Ray, Brandon, and just ask them what it is that you're looking for and what's available. Because if it's what we call a quick move-in home, which is an inventory home.
Right, which is ready to go really in the next couple of months.
You bet. And rates have kind of come down just a little bit. They've softened. So because they're right at 6%, a builder can still buy down the interest rate to 3.9 or 4.25. So not only do you
In
get
some cases.
yeah, in some cases. So not only do you get a good price, so you're kind of buying at the dip, but the interest rate is good. And if they buy that down for you, the money they use actually goes in an account. So if you refinance, that money can be used to refinance or to pay down your mortgage.
Which is a great option because I think some of the stuff might be going away. So right now you want to get in while you can, while they do have inventory that you can buy to get that new home that you wanted. Because in 4 months from now, we don't know what's going to happen. We don't know if they're all going to be taken. The
Yeah.
buyer profile's really picked up. People have been out there buying.
Yes, they have. And for those of you who really enjoyed our wealth building from last month, we got great response.
We
to
did.
that.
That was a lot of fun.
And that was
enjoyed
what
that.
we call 101. The new one is going to be May 18th from 6 o'clock to 7. And we call this the master class. We're really looking for accredited investors, which means that you're worth $1 million or more and you have the opportunity to invest. Because a lot of times when we have these types of classes, we'll introduce you to some properties that may be available, maybe off-market property. We'll teach you a little bit about cost segregation so you can really learn how to depreciate property at a very quick rate. So we look forward to registering, guys.
Absolutely. We can alleviate a lot of fears you have about maybe getting your first investment property.
Yep.
I was with a client last night that just had a little bit of fear about maybe making that first step towards having investment property. So I think we kind of talked through that, but we'd love to work with any of you if you are looking to buy a home, sell a home, or buy an investment property.
You bet. Okay,
All
Chef.
right.
How we doing? Oh my.
Quickly
it's
got pie
looking-
number 2
It is
together.
looking amazing, guys.
So quiche number 2, all filled.
All right.
We're gonna go into the oven here.
Carefully.
There we go.
Oh.
Excellent. All right. Mimosa time?
I'm thinking it's mimosa time.
All right, I'll do a little wipe up here. Full for our.
I think everybody out there, are you guys looking for mimosas too? Or have you already started that?
They're
Sometimes
probably already
they jump
mimosa
ahead.
Yeah, they're probably already ready already. So we're gonna need our blood oranges. We're gonna need- Not that guy.
That's a bad one.
We're gonna do a single. We're gonna do the picture for
We're
this
gonna do a
guy.
picture for this group.
Okay. So remember, we want to always press and roll. We're breaking up the tissue inside the orange so that way we can juice it easier. Not squeezing too hard, but enough to where we can really break up those segments. All right. those.
Oh, that looks amazing.
Yeah. All right, we're gonna need our orange juice.
Just like,
Or, gotta grab it. Back fridge.
oh, okay. Back bread.
So we got this guy, our bubbly. We're going with a rosé bubbly today.
Wonderful.
We have a strainer, like a little one or
A little what?
a little strainer. Work. That'll work perfect. Everyone has this fancy tool, but that's gonna work perfect. April Fools. All right, so Beth has supplied us with this handy dandy tool, a juicer. This brings back memories of my childhood.
About 5 oranges. I've got a couple more.
Remember, if you don't have a juicer, it's okay.
Nothing like fresh squeeze.
I know. It's what I'm
Blood
saying.
orange. I guess they're, you know, if you look at it, I don't really think the difference, but it's such a dramatic color difference.
And the flavor profile. It's a little more tart than your normal orange. It's got a
Can't
different,
wait to try it.
different sweetness about it.
It's just a different tree.
Yeah, so Jen's asking, is it a different tree? What
It's a
is
tree
it?
that was beat up when it was young. So
Blood orange. No, we're kidding.
yes, it's a whole different tree. Pith for those who like that piece. What are we looking for? 1 cup?
5, yeah.
Yeah, we're almost there.
Are we almost there? One cup. That's a lot of work.
If we don't have a juicer, chef, how are we doing this?
Without a juicer, you're using your hand and squeezing.
If you'll grab me a pair of tongs.
All right, the tongue trick.
The tong trick. So in order to get all the juice out that you're wanting to, yeah, just
These are just little.
yep, you'll
smaller.
take a pair of tongs like this. You'll put your fruit inside the tong like such. Use your hand to capture any seeds. And now you just made that a lot easier.
A lot easier.
So this is always a good one to do.
I think I remember that trick from one of our other
We did a
drinks as
screaming
well.
lime juice or something.
Something. Must have been a tequila margarita something. But that's always a good trick. Good to
Yeah, it's,
remember.
you'll get, instead of you getting arthritis over an orange squeeze, you'll be able to
Right,
get all the juice
exactly.
out. Okay. Capture the seed. So we got our blood orange juice freshly squeezed.
Wonderful.
We're gonna do a 1/4 or 1/8 of a cup of Chambord. Steve, we might need your assistance on this guy.
Okay, you let me know.
My hands are all- Anyways.
They make it tight, so you can't open it.
So you can't sample it standing in
Yeah.
line down at the store.
Maybe that's it.
what it is.
Ta-da.
So has anyone had Chambord before?
I want to say when I was really young, it's like a flavored.
It's
what
a
is it?
raspberry liqueur, yeah.
I'm thinking when I was
So when
pretty
you
young.
make your cosmopolitan,
Oh, that's
this
in
is
there.
what you want
It's
to
not.
mix.
It actually smells really good. All right.
We need to eat the liqueur. What's next? Orange, oop, and our bubbly.
Oh, it says you add on the whole bottle.
Well, we are feeding a crew.
Yeah, okay. 2 X. For garnish.
Yeah, I got them right here. Take our little stirrers here. Give it a little
I'm
stir.
gonna have you make me 3.
Okay.
Yeah, a crew here.
The crew.
Guys put ice in the glasses.
Yeah, that'll work. Garnish.
Okay, that's looking really good so far.
Always the moment of truth with that tea.
When
I
Beth takes a sip, huh?
know. This, because it's not gonna be
There's
my
no-
alcohol.
I was gonna say, there's no
tonight.
bourbon, so we should be okay. As long as there's no bourbon,
Nice
we're
and
usually
light.
okay.
There we go.
All right, let's take a sip. All right, looks really good. Okay, that's my kind of drink. I love it. This is a great one. Great little brunch. I'm gonna bring a couple over to some of our guests.
All right. Let's poke our heads in and let's take a look at our quiche, shall we? Oh, yeah.
Isn't it good?
You can
It's
see.
really refreshing.
No, it's barely starting to form around the outside there, so let's let those guys dry. Okay, let's do our eggs for our French toast. So our egg batter.
All right, that was exciting. That was really good. How'd you guys like it at home? Wasn't that drink spectacular? Nice, refreshing. Really be a good drink too for summer.
Oh, I'm sure of it, right? Right by the pool.
Absolutely. All right,
All right, moving right
here
along.
we go.
French toast, this guy here.
Fried French toast. So this is what all the kids are gonna love.
They are gonna
This
love
is
If you
the
have
fun.
not- If you have not had fried French toast before, you are in for a treat.
I have never had fried French toast.
I made French toast with challah
Bread?
last weekend.
Mhm.
What's the difference gonna be using a French bread, which is
So the challah or brioche, it's gonna be similar, so it's a softer bread. The bread itself isn't gonna be as dense as our French bread is. It will get soggy quickly, it'll burn faster on the pan. So there's more sugar content in those breads, which makes them sweeter.
Mm.
So that's the difference.
So why do you choose French bread over the other breads for this example? Just so we all know why.
Because we want it to hold up in the frying process. We don't want to have a bread that's gonna get soggy
And fall apart.
and fall apart when we drop it into the fryer.
That makes sense.
Part number two is any more water content we add to hot oil becomes a bigger problem, right? So that's why we leave milk out of this batter.
Oh, good to know.
And that's an
Because I think
important
an old way of making it, you would add milk to it.
quarter cup of milk to 1 egg yolk. So this one is just an egg batter. And that's what gives it that golden brown, that crispy crunch on the outside.
Oh.
That's what we're looking for.
Super exciting.
So we're gonna need some cinnamon, some nutmeg.
And really thank everybody for coming out on a Saturday. We're really excited to try this on a different day of the week, and thank our crew, everybody who came out Saturday and took time away from your family. So thanks for all coming out.
Absolutely. Well, like we figured, not everybody likes to do breakfast at dinner, so.
I know, that's true.
This one, we don't have to get like we did the quiche, but we do want to make sure that it is whisked up nicely so that that way we can evenly coat our bread when we go to fry.
Really no lumps, right? We don't want a lump of the brown sugar.
Right. My culinary whisk.
I know, I love that. That's a really cool idea.
Huh?
That's not fun to do.
No. All right. Let's let that sit there so it's ready to go when we are.
So is the brown sugar that helps it caramelize?
It adds a little more sweetness because the French bread isn't very sweet at all. So that's what's going to add that to the
So
outside.
you wouldn't do that to like brioche or omelet?
No, I wouldn't add any
Okay.
sugar inside of the egg batter if you're going to use that brioche bread.
Okay, so it's good for the French bread specifically.
Yep.
Awesome.
All right, so this we'll set aside. Then let's flambe, shall we?
Oh, that's exciting.
Yeah.
It's exciting and scary because, you know,
Well,
And
you're
they-
doing a remodel.
yeah. Not today. Not starting today. Oh, what do we have there?
These are our cherries for our cherries as usual.
All right.
Get this guy ready so we can do it too. Yeah, so like Beth said, bananas, Fosters, and cherries Jubilee are traditionally a dessert.
Yes, I know. They make it in fine dining restaurants and you can put it like over ice cream.
Over mousse, ice cream.
Well, I guess anything, right?
You
Any
really
sort of a
could. You
cake.
could put it over a cake, absolutely.
Because it's just delicious. We had one night at our house, we had a bananas Foster's cook-off. So a couple people on the stove cooking their bananas Foster's to see what made the best, which is a lot of fun.
It's always fun, right?
It's a lot of fun.
All right, so this one we're going to need some orange juice, I believe, right? Yeah, cornstarch, sugar, and some. We'll use our freshly squeezed orange juice. That'll work perfectly. Cornstarch.
I was gonna say, I don't think we have orange juice.
That's all right. You got it right here.
Freshly squeezed.
That's right. All right, so this one, what we're gonna wanna do is we're gonna kind of make our sauce, add our cherries, and then kind of reduce the cherry juice down, all right?
Okay.
So we're gonna need.
And banana is such a different
Process.
process,
Yep.
because it's a totally different.
Well, the banana breaks down faster than the cherry, so that's why it is a different process. So in our saucepan, over medium-high heat, we're gonna add some sugar.
About how much?
Half a cup, I
Half a
believe,
cup?
is what we said.
Now, everybody take good notes, because this is you can use this for everything. Super excited to check this out.
Do this piece first. This way we don't get no lumps.
No lumps.
No lumps. It's like 2 teaspoons. 1, 2.
Definitely faster when you don't have to use measuring tools.
It is a little bit faster. As you do it day in and day out, you start to learn what a tablespoon looks like, what a teaspoon looks like, how much is a cup.
Now, if you are at home and you want to teach yourself that, like for the dry ingredients, would you just place it into your hand?
Yeah. So like, yeah, so like put it in the teaspoon and then put it into your hand.
Oh, so you
Put
know
in a
about how much
tablespoon,
that is.
put it into your hand. Obviously, you're
That's a
not
good
gonna fit
idea.
a half a cup or a full cup in your hand. But when you do it, if you notice how I always have it, I put it in a separate spot.
Right.
Because in my head, that's my diameter. Boom, that's it right there. So that's how I figure that out.
But if you're like me, you need to measure it so you don't mess it up.
For this portion, you'll be okay. As long as you're not gonna overdo it with your sugar or cornstarch, you'll be okay. So now we're gonna start squeezing orange juice.
So what does the orange juice do? I'm just curious.
It's the
Acidity?
flavor, yeah, and the flavor. So having that
Kind of the
flavor,
orange with
flavor
the cherries. I just
profile, yeah.
Interesting.
Heat down just a little bit.
So what is that, about 2 whole oranges roughly?
Yep, that's what we got right there.
Okay.
And if they're using out of the container?
Yeah, what do we got? Half a cup of orange juice, quarter of a cup.
Yeah, 1/4 of a cup. Oh, I see that thickening of the cornstarch.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Plus the sugar already starting to.
Yeah,
That's why I turned our heat
Oh,
down because
so-
it's starting to caramelize,
got it.
turning it into candy.
Exactly.
So now we're gonna add our cherries. This water content will help.
Oh, absolutely. Look at you go.
We've already made some candy. So when your heat was up too high, Beth, with the sugar in the pan, we made candy.
I thought it was getting a little chunky. So you don't, you just take that chunk out, a little bit of chunks out?
Yeah,
Okay,
I mean, it's already hardened, so it's already to a stage that it's not gonna melt down.
Do
again.
anything.
Yep.
or be what we want.
Right.
It's gonna kind of been past that.
Chip a tooth.
Chip it.
We don't want that.
No, we don't want a little chunk of something hard in there.
And then, so this is gonna reduce down a little bit.
Yeah, so you have it on low heat?
I have, yeah, I got it. It's on medium right now, but we do want to reduce it down. So we want to, once we dump them in, it's bringing it up to that boil, reducing it down on a lower heat. So then that way it'll just kind of lowly simmer,
Okay,
reducing it and combining, incorporating all those flavors.
perfect.
We do need to add some zest to this bad guy, which is going to be our zesters.
Yep.
There. Take our orange. Our going here. Remember, when you zest, you only want to take out the outside. You don't want to get into any of the white.
Right.
The
so
white
just
is where it's bitter. Just the bright colors, all you're looking for.
Got it. That's the true flavor of what we're trying to get
That's
there.
absolutely right.
Can cane sugar be a substitute for the brown sugar in the
Yes.
egg mix?
Yes, it can. You would use a little bit less if you're going to use white sugar in your egg mixture. So this guy is working. We have a little bit of our cherry extract that we can float in here.
Just a little goes a long way.
Yes, it does. Typically with every extract, a little bit goes a long way. Let's take a look at our quiche here. There we go. Now we're starting to build a little bit more. See how it's
yeah.
developing more here on the outside. It's probably got about 10 more minutes to go. Okay, well, this reduces down. We can get our bananas ready.
Two.
There we go. Perfect. How's everyone doing out there? Any questions?
Are you keeping up? Anybody need a tip on catching up? Or are you guys already eating?
They could be.
I-
That's quite a few people still cooking.
So, okay, good.
We're drinking.
Drinking.
Oh, well, see, that is the good part.
All right. So this one, our process is a little different, a little
Right.
bit faster. Butter. We're gonna do 4 tablespoons. Paula Dean says that's not enough.
Always need a lot of butter.
All right, and then for this guy, we're gonna do our pecans first. So I'll remove this to the back of them. The reason we're gonna do our pecans first is we're gonna lightly toast them. The cherries continue to reduce down. That's almost where we want them.
I know, those look so
They look
good.
Yeah. So then here is our pecans. This is gonna be on high heat, so we're just gonna toast these essentially right in our pan. This is also gonna add a little bit of flavor to our pan since we're gonna use this still.
Yeah, that sounds good. I mean, think about it, toasting pecans, you can use it for anything.
Oh, man, salads and it just
Right.
goes on and
I was
on
just
and on.
thinking, this is just a good tip to learn how to just toast them on the stove.
Yeah, and not have to open up the oven, right?
Absolutely.
So if you're gonna make banana bread and stuff, anytime you use your walnuts, always toast them first, whether you do it in the oven or you do it on the stovetop like this, because the flavor profile is so much better.
Oh, that's
You'll
awesome.
actually taste more of the walnut or more of the pecan in the bread or the muffin, even into pancakes. That is what you're looking for.
That's a great idea. So I love that tip. It's fun how everything we're learning, we can utilize in other aspects of our cooking.
Yeah, because it's all cross-utilized,
Right.
right? And when we learn something, I mean, one of my favorite stories telling people is when one of our guests, when we did the blackened halibut, and they were allergic to something, they couldn't use something. So I was like, "What's in your pantry?" She's like, "Oh, I got this and this and this." I says, "Take your tortilla chips, crunch them up, put this, use your tomatillo salsa that you're wanting to use." Perfect dish right there. And it went just along with exactly what we were making. So
Exactly.
everything is versatile, and I always try to tell people the recipes are a guideline. You don't have to follow them precisely. Me, as you see, I never follow them precisely.
Well, it always turns out, so that's good. So we have it on medium heat,
This one's on high.
on high,
Yep,
okay.
so these are gonna toast up and they're gonna go pretty quickly. As soon as that pan gets nice and hot, we're gonna got our butter ready. We're gonna need our bananas ready.
Great.
So with these guys, same thing, all depending on, you wanna leave your banana not big chunks like this, but also not real thin like this. So you do want them to be that
Like a medium
happy
slice.
medium, right? You want them to be on a good slice because they break down quickly. And if they are too thin, then it's just gonna be mush
Right.
and your banana is not gonna be as firm as you would like it to be. Just like such. All right, so now see how they're burnt.
Oh, I
They're
see
not
that.
burning up, but they are
But they're-
crisping up.
Yeah,
Yep. So
crisping up.
you want to keep them working. As soon as you let them sit in just a minute, you don't want them to burn at all. So we're gonna just let these go one more second. We're gonna pull them out and set them aside. Grab a plate right here.
Like you said, there's a little bit on that pan, so it's gonna have some seasoning.
Yes. So the oils of, if you can see it,
Of the nuts,
Aaron, if we can capture, see all the oils in here.
right?
That's all now going to be a part of our.
Oh, yum.
So
In comes the butter.
Is it a problem if the bananas feel really ripe green?
Nope. If your bananas are ripe green, it's
Oh,
still
look at, you
okay.
can see
The oil
the oil
coming up. Yep.
from the pecans.
So now we're going to turn our heat down just a little bit. We still want our pan to stay nice and hot. That's the flambe. That's going to be the ticket to it. And sugar. Cinnamon. A touch of nutmeg. Here we got this nice caramelization sauce going here. Break up any of those chunks of butter.
So I see that that's kind of, I guess, foaming up a little bit.
Yep.
So is that because we're on high heat or
It's just
kind of
the,
medium heat?
yeah, it's just the
The butter
sugar.
with the
Yep,
sugar?
the butter and the sugar blending together. So evaporating any moisture from that butter is what it's doing. Oh, this guy's looks good.
I know, that looks so great.
So then we shall.
We shall add the bananas. So they can be green, they can be soft, either way, they're good to add in here.
Yeah, the firmer,
They are
the better,
better.
essentially.
Okay,
You do want them to be not fully green because then it's not going to be ripe. So you want the banana to
have
be.
more flavor.
Yeah,
So-
absolutely. Okay, okay.
Wow.
If where's
What do we
our cognac? You could go ahead and
Just
drop
cognac?
me a splash in there.
What's a splash? That?
More. And a little more. There we go.
Okay, that scared me.
And now we've flambéed.
So I wanted what I'm expecting now.
So now we're done. That's it. Voila. Again, one more time. For the
Oh.
audience?
Now I gotta do it
For the
again.
audience, one more time.
One more. There you go. And this the flame.
Do what?
It's the flame. So the flame is what you see. If you don't have the igniter, you can ignite it. Not the same. When you add oxygen, that's what creates the.
Gotcha.
Put a little more in there. Don't be scared.
It's not quite as big as dramatic as the bananas.
The
The
butter.
one when you
The
butter.
fat,
right?
Okay, I was like. Okay,
And-
so I was a little scared. It is my kitchen.
So cinnamon is flammable. If someone didn't know, but you can light cinnamon.
You get your flame and then you throw
Oh,
the
you're
cinnamon
gonna-
in it and it looks like it's
Okay,
sparks.
all right. Little test.
Have some cinnamon in your survival kit. You're ready to go.
Well,
All right.
that's true. All right.
We're ready to fry some French toast. We're gonna get
You guys are
a
scaring me today.
paper
It's a
towel
lot of fun.
for our plate here, so then that way we can strain off any excess oil once it comes out. So we've chosen to use shortening today. The reason we've chosen to use shortening is because it's gonna give a different flavor than the canola oil or vegetable oil, which is your traditional frying oils. This is gonna add that butteriness to it that
Okay.
we really are looking for in our end result, okay?
Gotcha. So what would be another use that I would want to fry in this? Like,
Chicken,
okay,
yeah, oh yeah,
okay.
fried chicken.
Oh, for like a fried chicken. Okay, good to know.
I mean, anything. This will just give it a buttery flavor
Okay.
in the end.
Right, I was just saying this, from you, like
Mhm.
kind of what you think.
Okay.
Okay.
So all I
test
did was
it.
just test it. Our oil stayed hot where we wanted it to.
Okay.
I wish we did have a thermometer so we could see. You do want to be about,
Thermometer?
it's okay. We're hot enough. That's all I was looking for. So all we were looking for was just to make sure that it is hot
Okay.
and ready. And it is just a quick dip.
Quick dip both sides. And it kind of floats in there, it's not sinking.
It's because this bread, yeah.
Interesting. Usually I feel like when I've seen it done before, it sinks. I don't know why that is, but
It could, and another reason is the amount of oil we have.
Mm.
So since we are frying a lot more than most, we don't want to, we'll drop one more in there.
don't want to be too crowded.
That's right.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
So now that I've got them in there, we're gonna turn up our heat just a little bit so we can maintain the heat.
Right,
You
because
saw it cooled off.
yeah.
We're waiting for that golden brown
Right.
to be achieved there before we flip that. Yeah, so you saw how fast it cooled down because it's not, so we turned up the heat so we can bring that back up. So that way when our next batch goes in, it'll be just as hot as where we want it to be.
So how did everybody do with the flambe? Anybody else have
Seared eyebrow.
No fire extinguishers pulled out, I hope.
Happy Fool's Day? Any
Yeah.
Happy Fool's Day jokes? Like a couple minutes aside?
Yeah, you see how quick and fast it
Yeah,
goes.
it is pretty quick.
So we have one comment that cherries, they did a great one, they, bananas.
Was the pan, so if your pan wasn't quite hot enough, could be a reason. If your alcohol sits in that pan without adding the flame right away, absorb, or the alcohol evaporates.
Right
So
away.
you gotta light it as soon as you pour it in there.
And tip it, light it, keep your head out.
Yeah.
And the bananas absorb the liquid much quicker than other fruit.
Spoken like a true chef over there. How is your breakfast or brunch turning out, everybody? Are you gonna show us some photos?
Yeah, we're gonna
excited
need to
to
see
see.
some photos.
You know, brunch has become such a big family event. I don't know about you guys, but with all of my family, we enjoy gathering up and doing brunch really. Even for Easter, we do a brunch. So we do a lot of brunches.
Yeah, and brunch is that half lunch, half breakfast type of stuff.
I
So
know.
it really, goes a long way. I believe in our October class, our crab cake Benedict, excellent brunch
Oh.
item. A nice pan-seared
So
crab
excited.
cake with a poached egg, hollandaise sauce. Excellent brunch item.
One
It's
of my
that
favorites.
combination of both. It's that breakfast and that lunch. So one of the true brunch items.
That
So
would be-
for the alcohol, do you have to flambe it or will it burn off either way?
It'll burn off. Yep.
Okay.
So you don't have to ignite it. It will burn off.
And mostly in anything you cook with alcohol.
Yep.
Oh, that scared me.
There's a little brunch music.
There you go. So you see with that egg batter only how it just kind of coats around the bread,
Absolutely.
as opposed to if there was any milk or heavy cream in here, it wouldn't do that. It wouldn't give it that crust on the outside like that.
Would there be an application where you would? Because I just feel like for some reason, maybe it's old school way of doing it, but people used to put milk in it.
Well, it's because we're using the oil. So
Oh,
when you're
because- okay.
just doing the pan, you
Then
do
you
want to
would.
use that
Okay,
milk or heavy cream.
Because
I always
it-
prefer the heavy cream because it adds that extra butteriness,
got it,
kind of what we're doing in this
got it.
profile here, or technique, I should say.
Okay.
Yeah, see how it gives it like that bubbly crispiness on
Right.
the outside, as opposed to a pan fry. It just gives it that sear crisp on that edge.
Yeah, that looks great.
Almost like those French toast sticks used to have as a
I
kid. huh?
know. Well, a lot better.
A lot
lot
better
better.
for sure. So if you notice that your oil is cooling down, feel free to turn it up. Right? We turned ours up because we needed to bring back up the temperature
Right.
after we've added that first batch. And then if it's getting too hot, you see that your French toast is browning too fast, turn it back down.
Right.
Having a thermometer handy is always nice because you want to keep it about in between 325, 350.
Mhm.
Anything hotter than 350, it's going to fry really, really quickly
Right.
and not actually cook through the bread like we're looking to do. So
Did you,
check our quiche there.
Quiche. Oh, got a little puppiness now.
I think they did.
Let's take a look at our quiche there. There we go. So see, we're almost there. See, we got a little jiggle in the middle.
Not much.
Yep, just a tiny bit. This guy, I think, is ready to roll.
No, looks like it.
Let's pull that one out.
That's the-
Give that one just a couple more minutes.
Brandy over cherries and ignite with lighter or flame. I'm gonna do with the flame, because I might,
Keep your eyebrows out of that.
Have you guys flambéed yet?
We flambéed. Are you ready to flambe?
Well, we haven't done it yet. We were busy.
That's okay.
All right, so you want to just walk them through it?
Yeah, so you're gonna, if your pan's ready, your cherries are nice and hot, you're gonna wanna drizzle over your alcohol, and you're gonna wanna put a light to it right away.
okay.
Whether you have a stick lighter, or if you're using gas stove, you're just gonna tilt your pan over that flame to allow that hot, high flame to touch the liquid, the alcohol, to create that flambe.
My
And it
cheese
will ignite pretty quickly.
cup.
David, you have to get the pan hot again.
You want to do a plate up?
Yeah, so I'll get these ones in and then I'll do it.
You get both of them hot. Should I do one at a time?
You want to do one of them at a time.
Yeah, but, oh, I don't know what I'm doing now.
Need to get it hot so that. They actually look like they're supposed to, I think. I don't know.
These are my two things.
I turned the mic off.
They turn the mic off.
No, I turned it off
Oh,
for us.
they usually turn it off. They don't turn it off.
Okay, we exactly had enough.
Oh, I just ate a big swig of. So this one is a quart. This one is a quarter of a cup. This one is tablespoons of rum or brandy, 3 tablespoons for the banana. And 1/4 of a cup. Wow, what a difference. Drizzle brandy over cherries and ignite. Okay. Are they hot? Oh, they look gorgeous. Oh, yes. Okay, here. Oh,
Did you do it?
I take it as yes.
okay. We're gonna do it,
Houston, we got
right?
lift off.
You have to do this.
No, you.
Go like this. Woo! It works! It works!
Chef, when these are both golden brown on both sides, taking them out?
You're ready to go? If you want, you can. Yep. Let's go ahead and cut those off and get you a paper towel.
Chef Juju, sous chef, that's come a very long way.
Do you see that?
Yeah.
We'll have to teach her some flambe a little bit more. But she's getting it. She's getting it. Steve's still waiting for dinner, but she's learning.
It'll be a long way, long time from now. Okay, ours are finished. Oh, and we're gonna plate it up, and this is gonna look amazing. And we've got some hungry little kiddos with us today. I can't wait till they're gonna be the taste test. Okay, I always like the plating because you make it look so amazing. When that's the gold right there.
Yeah.
That little bit of sauce is what makes it spectacular. And again, I must be hungry because I keep thinking this would be great on ice cream. But look, that looks amazing.
Man,
Amazing. We gotta decorate it up a little. Oh. Wow, that looks so good. Oh, wow. Okay, gourmet right here. This is your gourmet brunch. Wow. Oh, and he's still not done.
Once you got it, we might as well use
Dress
it.
it up. I like it. And of course, that mint smells amazing.
Yeah. There you go.
Wow. I'm gonna get this over here. Look what we have. An amazing brunch.
Hey, you!
And we have,
Say hi.
who do we have here with us
This is
today?
Callie, everyone. This is my sous chef every day.
Oh, you wanna wave to everybody? No?
Aw.
But look what we made, and we have kids here to eat it, and we're super excited. Thank you so much, Chef, and you guys, please, everyone, share your photos. We'd love to see what you've done at home, and if you do want to buy or sell real estate, definitely give us a call. And contact Chef Jude if
Yeah.
you want an event.
Looking for
a
any kind of
party,
catering done, private events, cooking classes. I do one-on-ones. I do group classes.
private dinners.
You can go ahead and reach me at chefjudevangeliste@gmail.com. I'm on Facebook and Instagram as well. So if you're looking for something elegant, something nice, something more, taco parties, barbecues, you name it. pretty
Graduation
much
parties
I can
coming
dial
up.
it in,
We have lots
absolutely.
of things coming up now in the spring, so thank you again, everyone, for joining. Don't forget the Rider Elite team and Chef Jude, and we'll see you next month.
April Fools.